Hello everybody, this is Rick Hubbard. Just to introduce myself, I'm an internet marketing consultant, I'm an e-learning developer, I'm also an adjunct professor teaching advanced web technologies for leaders, and I'm the author of Thought Leadership 2.0, using web technologies to position yourself as an expert. One of the things that is my favorite quotes is by a pioneer in the area of applied psychology, especially in the area of social and organizational psychology. His name was Kurt Lewin. And he said, nothing is more practical than a good theory. A lot of people misunderstand what a theory is. A theory is not a guess. At its most basic level, a theory is a prediction of what is going to happen in certain activities, circumstances, etc. Well, theories are based upon research, and they're actually used to guide other research. People will study and build more and more upon them. So theories can give us a really good understanding of what we can expect to have happen under different circumstances, or what factors might be operative in those circumstances. And if we select the right theories in the area of marketing, particularly if we pick theories from the fields of, say, educational and motivational psychology, obviously marketing management, leadership, communications, we can have some really good predictors. The application of the right theories can be used as tools to analyze our websites, to analyze prospective initiatives that we're thinking about, to analyze our e-learning components, any purpose where marketers, trainers, or leaders want to connect with others on the web. Theories can be used in those circumstances. The problem is finding and sorting out and applying the best theories. Because the heavy lifting has been done for you, using the web analysis matrix can save you hours of study and give you confidence that you're really heading in the right direction. I decided that I was going to select the most appropriate ones and the most practical ones and create some tools that would use those to make it easier for marketers to plan their course, to chart their course of action. What I want to do is provide you with a simple way to analyze what you're doing on the web so you have a better chance to develop the objectives and the goals that will take you where you really want to go. And I found that simple solutions are usually the best as long as they're not inadequate or naive solutions. You can make them so simple that, again, you end up with very anemic results. But I think we can do better than that. And that's basically what this presentation is about. One of the most simple but practical tools that I've developed is called the Web Analysis Matrix. And this presentation is an introduction. It'll introduce you to some of the prerequisite knowledge that will help you understand the purpose of the matrix and how it operates. And when you see how simple it is to understand this presentation, then you'll understand how simple it is to use the matrix. One of the most common things people tell me about the matrix is, oh, I get it, it's so easy to understand. In the rest of this presentation, I'm going to look at why analysis is the important first step so that you understand it and are really committed to doing it well. And also I'll introduce you to a framework that was used by Michael Dell for understanding how web initiatives can work very effectively. Let's start by looking at the wrong way to develop your website, your web marketing program, or online learning, whatever it is you want to do online. I see so many that are using an upside-down approach to their development. They don't have a process or a system, so they start with 2 or 3 steps down the road thinking they're going to shortcut it and get the results they want. They don't use the right theories to guide it, and as a result, they end up really where they don't want to be. Instead of using a grounded, systematic approach, they start grabbing all kinds of different technologies and tools and throwing them up on the web. They hear about mobile sites and just lots of different technologies. They hear about pay-per-click and AdWords and Facebook ads, and the problem is, because it's there, doesn't mean that it works, and doesn't mean that it works as a system. Sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not work. It may work sometimes, but not others, and many times they don't even know if it works. They don't have a system built in to give them feedback. Now, in all fairness, it's really not their fault. A lot of times they've been sold a bill of goods by their web developer who is more adept at technology and tools and less skilled at marketing and communications. Or sometimes it's because they're simply intimidated by the technology, so they just do everything hoping something will work. Sometimes they just get so frustrated trying to figure it all out that what they end up doing is nothing. They get paralyzed because they can't afford to waste more marketing dollars. That's the wrong way to do it. Let's look at the right way, because it doesn't have to be that way. The answer is in doing good analysis, leading to clear, actionable, measurable goals and objectives. That's what will give them the return on investment for their marketing dollars, or even the time in their marketing efforts. So many people look at their web processes as a collection of tools and technologies. The danger is they can fall in love with certain tools or technologies, and they fall in love with the artwork on their websites, the flash animations, and they love it simply because it's theirs. And because they're in love, they don't have clear goals and objectives. They need to get a tough love approach to get some clarity. When we look at each of the individual components, we lose sight of the big picture. So instead, let's look at web development through a lens of systems theory. What systems theory is it looks at components in the context of their connection and relationship to other components and how they interact. Yes, we want simple steps that are achievable, but we want them based on a deep understanding of what the circumstances and the context are in which we operate. So how do you do that? Well, on one side of the river is the haphazard mess that we have now. On the other side is planned success, and how do we get across? The answer is developing a step-by-step process. The one that I like best is one that is borrowed from educational technology. It's an instructional design model. And the reason why I think it makes sense is we often need to educate and relate to customers before they're going to respond the way we'd really like them to. So let's take a look at it. It's called the ADDIE model. ADDIE stands for analysis, design, development, implementation, and evaluation. In the analysis stage, we do an audience analysis, a needs analysis, an analysis of the market conditions. We do a technology analysis. And at the end of this process, we develop clear goals and objectives that are measurable. At the end of the analysis phase, you really should have three very simple but important documents. One of them is a description of your audience. The second is a description of what you want to deliver to the audience or achieve with them. And those two together should lead to very specific goals and objectives. The next stage that you move to in my suggested process here is the design phase, and it answers the questions of how, where, and when. It will use the three analysis documents we generated in the analysis to lay out a plan of development. There will be timelines, descriptions of the technologies that need to be used, a schedule for development and delivery. It should also include budgeting factors. This is the focus stage of ADDIE. Then the next three stages are the execution stages. The third one is the development stage. This is where the technologies are acquired, the content and the materials are developed that you need. This is where the what and the how are converted into content and technologies. They're developed very specifically according to the design plan, and a feedback system is also developed at this stage. The implementation stage is the next one. That's the I of ADDIE, and it's where content and technologies finally come together on the web and are opened up to the audience. In some cases, this may involve setting up some analytics, doing some split testing and other things so that we can move on to the next stage, which is evaluation. Evaluation is the final stage of the ADDIE process, and basically what it does is it forms a feedback loop. As a result of split testing, reviews from the audience, or other analytics, feedback should go to the design stage to modify the design and then redevelop the content and technologies when necessary. In the initial design stage, it's important that the design accommodate appropriate changes based on feedback. You don't want to develop things that are so difficult that it's expensive to make changes based upon your feedback. There's a couple of reasons why people will skip this stage. One, they think they don't need it. They feel like they know their audience. They know what it is. They just want to get started. That's particularly true of entrepreneurs. They tend to be doers. The problem is, as well as we know our stuff, unless we formalize it a little bit, we will all make assumptions. Everybody does it. The analysis process, by being a little more formal, helps us find factors that otherwise that we would miss. And some of these perspectives are very important. I think the second reason why people sometimes skip the analysis stage is that it takes time. During the analysis and creating of the documents that are necessary for it, it can be a little bit frustrating, especially if you're starting with just a blank piece of paper and trying to create the whole thing from scratch. And while it does take a little time, it doesn't need to be painful. With the right tools to help you, this stage can go very quickly, because this is the clarity stage of the process, and without it, you're really proceeding without the clarity that you need. Now that we've reviewed the important role that web analysis plays, I just want to reiterate that it doesn't need to be overly complicated. There are a few straightforward tools that you can use to make sure that you've covered all the important factors and can really move to a plan that's going to serve you. My web analysis matrix and other tools can take the whole process, make sure that it's grounded in good solid theory, and yet is very straightforward and simple to achieve. Good analysis tools lead to clear objectives and goals. They lead to focused design, and that in turn leads to executable development and implementation that puts you right where you want to be. Let's grab one more big picture concept. Let's answer this question. What framework should we use to do our analysis in? The framework, the context that I like to use is one that was defined by Michael Dell at a 1999 meeting of the Detroit Economic Club. He said that there were 3 components to developing a compelling online presence, and they included content, commerce, and community. The first is content. So, what is content? It includes any kind of information that is useful and helpful to your clientele, your customers, whoever it is you're trying to reach. It could be documents, forms, manuals. It could be blog postings. It could be articles. It could be podcasts. All of these would certainly qualify as content. To be valuable, the customer needs to see the content as either useful or compelling. So the second C was commerce. Commerce, as Michael Dell defined it in that address, is anything that is a system that delivers goods on the web. It's not limited to just shopping carts. It, for example, could include a YouTube channel. It could include Facebook. It could include your website. Anything that is the technology, the technological ability, especially automated, to deliver something to your audience is considered a component of commerce. The thing is about commerce and automated systems, they're like hiring up an employee when they're working the way they should. Then there's the third C, which is community. Everybody today is talking about social media, and that's really what community is. It's taking the content, delivering it through a commerce system to a community of people. Your community includes your prospects, your customers, your suppliers, people that are consuming your information, the people that are reading what you write on the web. Those all go together to create your community. So now that we have that context, we can take these tools and look at them to analyze how is our web, how is it doing in the area of content, commerce, and community. Well, you now have all the background information that you need to understand the website analysis matrix. The matrix itself is going to be covered in another video. If you want more information on website analysis, Michael Dell's 3 C's, or other information about web marketing, you can visit my website at www.riverjumping.com. There is a place there where you can download an ebook version of Thought Leadership 2.0. I hope I served you well with this video. Thanks for your attention, and Godspeed.